Yo, it's Kevin Trade. This is my weekly recap and outlook for DAX, the German index. So let's just get straight into it. This is the weekly candle. As you can see, we had a heavily bearish week. We opened at 24,388 and closed at 23,432. If I just go into the daily, you can see we had a bearish, bullish, bullish, bearish, bearish. But before I break this down, first things first, we've got to look at the news. You can see we had job openings 3 p.m. We had FOMC this week on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Unemployment claims, and on Friday we had 3 p.m. PMI and 1:30 unemployment rate. Didn't really do much, but we did have FOMC on Wednesday, 7 p.m. So yeah, let's just break this down. As you can see, last week I did have this strong liquidity and this level. My drawn liquidity got taken literally a few hours after the market opened. We left behind this big gap on Monday, hourly gap. If I just go to, I think it was why is this yellow? We left behind this big hourly gap here. Two gaps on the 15, which just got filled. You can see here weekly sweep. If I go into daily, it was that same daily OTE as last week, and literally drawn liquidity was swept within a few hours. Same OTE level, and you can see it just held, and then yeah, literally expansions got hit, and Monday just held as high of the week. Coming into London session, ooh, if I go into 15, let's see how you could have caught this. At this point, my bias did flip. So yeah, I was looking for sells purely because this was a weekly sweep, and of just based off this reaction. But you can see my buys would have still played out below this purple line around this level. It actually held as low the day on Wednesday, and you could have got these nice buys up. But anyways, London session, let me just mark this out. Oh yeah, you had this nice 15-minute inverse. Just going to the 5-minute. Nice inverse there. We had that daily OTE. Nice value ups here. We also should have. Just going to the hourly. Where are we? Where are we? Nothing much. Price literally just dumped. We left behind this big 15-minute failure up, unmitigated. Tap back into on Thursday. We'll get into that. Price started to reverse around 10:15, which left behind this perfect 15-minute failure up, just got respected and carried on going. If I just go to the 5-minute, you can see price, the way price moved after taking that weekly high. Very good invest here. 5-minute failure up respected here. Very nice EQ taps here. That's a nice EQ tap. Again, EQ with that 5-minute failure up. That could have been a trade. Yeah, price literally just dumped. New York session just continued. Pretty sure that's New York. Yep. Again, 5-minute fair value up. And some really nice EQ taps here. What's that? 2 o'clock. Perfect. Price carried on going and closed around here. If I zoom out, you can see we actually edged this low. Where is it? There. Yep. As you know, DAX loves doing this shit. So, literally price edge this low. We've seen this happen again and again, where price comes so close to taking this low, reverses, rebalances, and then takes it. Seen happen so many times by now, but you can see a fake reaction, then kind of going. But yeah, that was Monday. Hell is high of the week. Nice bearishness. Nice bearish day. Coming to Tuesday. Tuesday opened 115. We had this nice sweep here. And that just held as low of the day. Very nice sweep. I'm pretty sure it was OTE from this low. Yes. OTE, very nice. They just held as low of the day. Price had to reverse after edging this low. London opened around here. Yep. No bone wick. If I go into the 15-minute, you can see this fairly up was respected. This fairly up was respected. And we just carried on going until we came to this high where we reversed. New York reversal. We should expect New York to reverse because Asia and London expanded in the same direction. So most likely, around 70% of the time, New York would reverse. As you can see, New York session 2:30 p.m. where this beautiful 15-minute inverse. It was also OTE on the 5-minute from this high. Yup. And it ran until this low. And then we just went sideways until eventually we created this nice little triple lows. We were in this nice little range. We had FOMC coming up, so price literally just went sideways until eventually we closed around here. Yep. So it was a bullish day, edging this high. So I'm just gonna draw that line out. Coming to Wednesday now, FOMC day. We opened, came down, swept this low, came back up, and then tapped OTE. Okay, double low, sorry. Came back up, tapped OTE again from this same high. Came down, tapped my level. It was also, if we're just going to the hourly, like what were we actually reacting off of? It was just 4-hour sweep. Triple lows getting swept. Nice little accumulation, manipulation here, and then expansion upwards. Very clean. You can see here triple lows getting swept. 8 a.m. just held as low of the day. If I go to the 5-minute, you can see nice traction off of the levels, but also 5-minute inverse, nice equilibrium taps all around. Beautiful tap here, and then yeah, we just expanded higher and then eventually taking this high. But before we took it, we had a very big retracement at FOMC. You can see how choppy price was until FOMC actually hit at 7 p.m. Was it 7 p.m.? Yep. 7 p.m. 7:30. Price was really choppy until then. Until it finally just retraced. I'm guessing this was like a OTE tap probably on the 5-minute. Probably not. It was just a good 5-minute sweep. Maybe 15 sweep. No, that's not a low. Swept that 5-minute weak low, and then finally took that high, and then closed. Coming into Thursday, we opened up sideways action, came up, tapped that unmitigated 15-minute bearish fairly up. It was also, if I just go into the hourly now, you can see this was a very nice rebalance here. I think it was perfectly 0.786. That was 8 a.m. That was 8 a.m. held as low of the day on Wednesday, and then 8 a.m. also held as high the day on Thursday. If I just go into the 5, let's see how you could have caught this. I think it was 8:46, but either way, London opened, okay, wicked up, wicked back down. Nice roll liquidity. 5-minute fairly up lined up with, what is that, the hourly, the 50-minute fairly up. Also an hourly inverse here. Also point of control here as well. Yep. Also came back to these same levels where the gaps were. Literally the exact same level where the gaps were. So them gaps were definitely manipulation. Oh, there we go. You can see very clean taps here. 5-minute fairly ups got respected, came down. This is London session, 10 a.m. We had this very, very clean order block here. You can see this high got swept. If I just remove this, sweep here, break below this low on the 15, was it? Yep, this 15-minute order block, I'll make this yellow. If I go into, you can see this breakaway gap here as well. This is an order block because it swept this high, broke below this low. This is an order block, tap back into this order block at 11. If I go into the 1 minute, it looks like an OTE tap. Yep. Yep, perfect OTE tap. And then all extensions was hit, including the -4. Price literally just carried on going. Again, New York just carried on going because price already reversed at London, so there's no reason for price not to reverse at New York. We also had, I think on Thursday we had unemployment claims. Where was that? Here? Yep. What did that do? Pretty much absolutely nothing. Instead, if I go into the 5-minute, let's just see. We left behind this big 5-minute failure up. We just respected it. New York session again, 5-minute failure up. You can see here respected, 5-minute failure up again, 3 p.m. respected. Very clean EQ taps, I can already tell. Here, equilibrium. Even on the way down, just tap in equilibrium again and again. That's a very nice one here at 1 p.m. This also was OTE here. Yep, at 2 o'clock. As you can see, yep, 212. And again, I think like, yeah, all -4 extension got hit, which is fine. And then price kind of going, closed at around here. Friday opened. Let's just go into the 4-hour. Coming into Friday, we just opened around here. Finally taking this low that we edged at 115, I'm guessing. Was it 115? Yep. I think it was, actually it was 125. Accumulation, manipulation. We had some really strong highs at this point. For example, this is a really strong high. Again, order block here. It's because this swept this, broke below here, tapped into here. It's a nice little order block. I'll make it yellow again. At 6 a.m. I'm just trying to see. Coming to New York. No, New York, sorry, London. There's London, there it is. Just again, just continued. This 5-minute failure got respected. Tapped into the order block here. Sweeps and then breaks below here. Tapped in. Also, if I just go to the daily, we broke past 24k. I'm gonna put a red line here. 24k was here. You can see once we broke past 24k, the next draw was these week lows, 24,500. Because DAX has, the way DAX works is there's ranges every 500, and you can see here on the 4-hour, on the 1-hour, this range just got eaten up on this one daily candle. But yeah, that was London session. Carried on going. This looks like a very nice OTE tap at 10:45, so around 11, which is fine. Some very good order blocks here as well getting respected, and that's at 12:30. And then New York session, we had certain news. 1:30 unemployment rate, give a nice little candles up. where price just respected fairly up and then went back down, which is very nice. At this point, like bearish Phillips were just getting respected. On the 5 minute, we just kept on making lower lows, and yeah, that was a nice OTE. Coming to New York session, New York opened. Here, New York did kind of reverse because again, Asia and London expanded in the same direction, so you'd expect New York to reverse. You can see 3 p.m. held as low of the day, and then I think 3 a.m. held as high of the day on Friday. Around 3 a.m. 240, I think it was 246. Let's find out. 246, 237, close enough. So yeah, but yeah, that's the breakdown. Coming to next week, I am expecting more bearishness if I just go into the weekly. I do want this low get taken. Let me just remove everything. Primarily, I'm looking for sells. I do want this. My drove for next week is this weekly fair value up. If I just go into the weekly, this is a weekly low, which is interesting. Again, daily, I do want this low taken. I do reckon it's going to do the same business again, where we come close and then come back up and then take it. And it just loves doing that. Where do I want sells from? Honestly, I do reckon we could even just take it and then come back up and then carry on going. But where do I want sells from? Around 23,600. I'm gonna put our purple line here. 620 is not bad. I'm just trying to see if I go into weekly, how this weekly candle is. We left behind this daily fairly up, and then once Monday opens, we're gonna probably expand up, because now we've left behind, if we expand lower, we've left behind this big fairly up here, which we'll probably have to get tapped into, which should be interesting. But again, right now we're in the middle. This green line is at 23k. I do reckon, so in between this range here at 23.5 and 23k, I reckon we're gonna take 23 now that we're at 23,400. Before we do, I reckon we will come a bit higher. How high? I reckon maybe even higher. I'm gonna remove the purple line to 23. I might even put 2 purple lines actually, because it's looking like we could come higher. Let's see this. I want to see if this lines up. Kinda. Now, either way, these are my levels. I'm happy with that. I expect like these 2 fairly ups to get respected. I just want price to tap these, carry on going. Expect this low to get taken very soon, but again, we can just expect that same business, which is fine. But yeah, once we take this low, we could end up taking these lows, which is very, very possible. Because you know we did tap daily OTE. You can see here. So we've already reached the 0.618 extension. We could even reach the -2 or even -4. So we'll see what happens. I will put another green line at 2028. But of course, first strong liquidity is what matters. I'm gonna put another green line here at 22,800. Once we come back down, rebalance all this stuff, once we tap this monthly fairly up, sweep these lows, and then I expect higher price. But as for now, I'm looking for sells. I expect this month to come down first, create low of the month, and then expand higher. But yeah, that's my weekly recap, DAX recap, and outlook. Keep it clean and simple. See you next week.